I'm role-playing the Hound in Skyrim to see how he'd act in situations he'd never be faced with in Game of Thrones. We're gonna begin the quest where we meet Clavicus Vile's talking dog, Barbas. And there's a lot of really interesting decisions that we make, like whether or not to kill Barbas.
Oh, wait a second. There's another option here.
And even deciding what to do when the Hound encounters something out of his nightmares, a flame atronach. But first we meet this blacksmith who says,
"Did you see a hound on the road? Fine, strong creature that's been wandering near town."
"I have seen lots of dogs."
No. This one's alone on the road outside of town. I can't afford to chase him down, but I could use a fierce, loyal beast.
"I'm a fierce, loyal beast. That's why they call me the Hound." In the actual lore, the Hound actually likes dogs, apparently. So I think he'd be partial to this a little bit. I think the Hound would not do things for free. I think the Hound definitely would want money for it. So he'd be like, "For coin, I will."
Smart man to demand something up front for his work.
How the fuck am I gonna catch this dog? He gave him some meat. So would the Hound just eat this? This is actually a pretty good piece of food. And just be like, I have some raw rabbit legs. I'm gonna eat this good piece of food. I actually think let's roll for it. I think there's a pretty good chance he just eats this. Cause it's a whole roast of a lamb. And he's hungry. I think there's a pretty damn good chance he eats it. And he has meat on him. He has a rabbit's leg on him. Let's say if he beats a 5, he eats it. DC 5 for those who play D&D. He doesn't eat it! Holy shit! So he doesn't eat it. He's really close. So the Hound's really considering eating this leg of goat roast. This looks really good, but I'm gonna save it for the fucking dog like the guy told me to. He made it just for him, I guess. Whatever. Fuck it. And then he holds it out. He's like, "Here, doggy." And so the Hound's dad or granddad or something like that was a kennel master. I feel like he knows dogs pretty well. Okay, he sees a dog.
You are exactly what I was looking for.
The Hound is just like, what the fuck? Like, I actually think he takes out his weapon. I can't, but I think the Hound would genuinely take out his weapon and be like, "Who the fuck was that?" I think he would ask, "You were looking for me," but not to the dog. He'd be like, "Who is that?"
Yeah, I think it'll be just what I need.
So the Hound slowly realizes that this dog is fucking talking to him. And the Hound has seen some magic shit. I think he would be just very baffled. There's nothing else he could ask him, but I think the Hound would be like, "Why the fuck are you a talking dog?" So he says, "What the fuck could a dog need? A hound."
My master and I had a bit of a falling out. He's kicked me out until I find someone who can settle our disagreement.
So the Hound is still very skeptical. He's like, I was just supposed to give you to the fucking blacksmith. Like, and now you're talking to me? You lost little pup?
Master's Clavicus Vile, Daedra, Prince of Wishes. As you can imagine, he's quite the important person.
He's like, oh, so the Hound notices something that could be beneficial to himself. The Hound is a pretty selfish person. So he's like, oh, the god of wishes. Okay, I'll fucking help. Like, that sounds a lot better. This is fucking weird, but let's fucking do it, I guess.
Thank you. If this works out, I'll make sure you're rewarded. And just don't trust any offer he makes you, okay?
He's hearing a lot of things. He's like, oh, I'm gonna be rewarded. Like, this is gonna be great. But he also hears that he might, the Daedric Prince of Wishes might reward him as well. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna listen. I don't give a fuck what this dog says. The Hound does like dogs, like I said. So I think he's kind of like, I do kind of want to help this fucking magical dog. That's kind of cool. And I think he might bond with him a little bit because the Hound is called the fucking Hound. Like, he himself resonates with dogs. Okay, the Hound sees something. He sees like a little tower of some sort. And he sees rocks being thrown down at the dog. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? And he runs up to the first one and just fucking destroys him in one hit. Says, I fucking hate arrows. He takes everything. He just takes everything. He doesn't care. Oh shit, he sees his dog getting attacked by what looks like a giant spider. He jumps down there, but realizes that he's too late. The dog has killed the spider. And he's kind of like, oh, wow, like this dog is kind of strong. The Hound walks into this area. He sees all on fire. Remember, the Hound does not fuck with fire, so he stays away from it as much as he can. I mean, he sees the burnt corpse of someone, and he's like, what the fuck happened here? Wait a second, this is Helgen. The Hound recognizes this, just as I did. This is where he was just about to get executed, right here. And that's where Alduin showed up. Kind of a little traumatized, I think. He has a flashback to the dragon poking its head through and blowing fire. He sees this mead this time. Any of this stuff. He definitely is going to drink it right now, too, because he's like, I need a fucking drink. And then he kind of remembers he needs to get back to Barbas. Stays away from the fire as much as possible. He looks back on it. He's like, ugh. And he proceeds. He's not super sentimental, but he does feel something, I think, when he goes through that. But he likes to push down his feelings with alcohol, which is exactly what he did. He sees horses and he's like, maybe I could just take these. He sees a camp of people. He comes and he's like, I'm freezing my balls off. He comes and he sits down, takes some of this skeever, and then once he's warm, he gets up and he goes back. He considers stealing this horse. I don't know. So what I'm considering, would the Hound steal a horse from random people? So maybe not, because so what I'm thinking is he probably had a lot of opportunities to steal a horse from random people. The only time he actually did get a horse was when he killed people and then he took it from them. So maybe he would leave these people's horses alone. I think he doesn't want to cause too much fucking trouble, especially since he doesn't really know who these people are and what they could do. Maybe they just hunt him down. I mean, they have another horse. It's always about himself. What's gonna happen to him if he does this thing? And someone also said, like, he really is kind of reactive. However he's feeling, that's how he acts. If he's angry, he's gonna kill people, yell at people, etc. If he's not feeling angry, you know, he's gonna be pretty normal. If he's sad, he's gonna be sad. You know, he's a very just act on your emotions type of person. Hey, Mars Cavern. So I guess we gotta go in this cavern. Walks forward. Now, does he see this trap? Now, we're definitely gonna have to roll for this, because I see it. Would the Hound see it? Like I said, he's a pretty resourceful person. He knows stuff well. If I beat a 7, that's good enough. Yeah, he has a pretty good chance. Beat a 7, that's good enough. A natty fucking 1. A natty 1. You know what? Let's go ahead and give him a crit failure on that for fun, since we're doing D&D style. Not only does he not see that, he walks straight into it. He backs up, doesn't realize it, and walks straight into it again. But he also gets that person killed. And he's like, fucking what just happened? And he sits down, he's stumbling backwards, and he starts chowing down on his mead. He hears voices, and he sees Barbas, and he goes, Barbas! What the fuck have you gotten yourself into? He looks up at the shrine, he sees a chest behind it, he's like, give me a second. Fuck! Let's not touch that yet. He sees all the stuff thrown down here. He probably takes a piece of bread. Might as well not leave some fine bread. The dead don't want it.
What kind of deal can we strike?
So yeah, the Hound comes up to this statue and he's like, I have your fucking dog. I think, so he could say a couple things. He definitely wouldn't say to end the civil war that plagues my land. The power to crush all those before me. Now, the Hound is selfish, but I don't think the Hound feels like he needs more power. I think the Hound wants to be more like left alone than anything. So I don't think this is something that he would necessarily say. I don't think the Hound wants more power. The Hound has never particularly said anything like, I want to be the king. He definitely doesn't want to be a knight. He doesn't want anything like that. So I think the most applicable thing is like, I have your fucking dog. Give me some money. Give me some food. Give me some maybe women. And let me get the fuck out of here. The Hound's biggest goal is to kill his brother, so power isn't out of the running. That's fair. That's a good point, actually. So we went with power to kill my brother. What's your offer?
An axe.
Okay. So he's like, an axe. I could use one of those. But I think the Hound would definitely want to keep the axe. He's like, an axe to kill people sounds nice. I could use that against Gregor. I like that. He takes another couple apples. Actually, you know what? He takes all the apples. Let's go ahead and take this beacon.
A new hand
Sorry, the Hound prefers a sword, but I don't think the Hound would object to an axe, especially if it was very strong. So the Hounds continue their journey and they encounter lots of hostile creatures. Get him! I think the Hound would actually kind of start appreciating Barbas. He's seen him kill a couple of things that were attacking him. A couple wolves, a crab, I think a couple other things. Alright, we've made it to Rime Rock Burrow. Here we are. He walks in, sword out, knowing that there's going to be bandits in here. Sees a flaming woman. This is actually super interesting. The Hound hates fire. I don't think he would fight this thing. I think he would rely on Barbas to kill it for him. He would hate this. This is his worst nightmare. What are these things called again? Atronach. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's on fire. He would literally be like, oh, there's more. Oh, he'd actually run, I think. He'd actually just run. Oh, but this guy. Fuck you. Wait, I'm stuck. And he's getting burned. He's like, fire, fire. I think he would genuinely just turn the fuck around. I think you're right. I think he would leave. I think he would have to recuperate himself before he'd go back in. He'd drink his wine. I think he would use a bow if he had to kill something on fire. He hates bows though is the thing. But in this situation, maybe he would. You know, okay, maybe this is a good-ish example. He fought Beric Dondarrion when Beric used a flaming sword. He was scared, but I mean, that's only one flaming sword. These are literally fiends of fire. So maybe he would use a bow. You know what? I think he would go back in and just try to fucking one-shot it and get it over with. Okay, so he'd run in. He sees this guy on the ground. He says, fuck you! And just tries to murder him. Die! Get your fire shit out of here! He chases him down. And he prays that ends the flame demons surrounding him. So it's either a bow or he does that. And he still sees this fire thing. I think he has to get his wits about him. He would hate this. He would hate this, but he would eventually just have to fucking try to kill it. It's one of the two. One of the two. Oh, God. And it explodes in front of him. And he is just even more traumatized. He rightfully feels like he's afraid of fire. He's like, this is why I don't fucking fuck with fire. Get super drunk. Yes, exactly. Get super drunk, charge him with your fist, and, well, maybe not his fist, but his sword. And he gets out all the rest of the wine, the meat he has, and he drinks the fuck out of it. And he is just like, I hate fire. Like, he genuinely, is there somewhere to sit? He feels vindicated, like, for why he hates fire. He's like, this is why. Honestly, I think he just, like, spits on this guy's body, essentially, and just, like, throws it over the cliff. He's like, fuck off. But yeah, I like that. He gets super fucking drunk, and he's like, let me just fucking kill this thing. And after he gets his wits about him, he sits down, he drinks some more mead, some more wine. He's like, oh, fuck this. And then he sees this axe. He's like, this has got to be it. Dude, this dog is slightly moving me everywhere I go. I'm not doing this. I'm not pressing anything on my controller. What is wrong with this dog? We're back, now fulfill your end of the bargain. He says, here's your bloody axe, you candy.
I suppose I could be persuaded to let you keep it. But only if you use the axe to kill Barbas. Simple as that.
Would he kill the dog? I lean towards no. I think he would actually just backstab him and be like, I'm not killing this dog, but I am taking your axe. So what if he said, I don't think he would actually. The Hound has shown himself, yeah, I'm actually with you. He has a good heart, unless he's very pissed off. I don't think he would, but I do think he would take I think he would take the axe though.
Put him out of our misery.
Oh, okay, so you don't actually have to do it. Oh yeah, the Hound just says, fuck you, Clavicus, whatever. I am not killing the dog, and I'm taking your axe. See ya. And he walks out of here. Head held high.
Oh, wait a second. There's another option here. Oh, wait a second. There's another option.
So now, every time he's gonna say, hey, wait a second, there's another option here, if I talk to him.
Oh, wait a second. There's another option here.
We keep the axe, we keep the dog, and the dog is permanently scared of us. Hey, wait a second, there's another video here, where you can see how the Hound acted when he first arrived in Skyrim. Might want to watch it.